session natin. Ano so ang lesson natin for today? Lesson 2. Please raise hand kung hindi visible sa inyo yung ating PowerPoint presentation. Again, raise hand kung hindi visible sa inyong end yung PowerPoint presentation natin. Okay, so now, okay, again, ayan, present ko ulit siya. Okay, so for today, can I raise hand po kung sino yung active na? Can you please raise hand para makita ko kung sino yung active na sa ating presentation. Baka nakatulog na sa pag-iintay sa akin kasi it's almost nabot na ng 30 minutes. Okay, so just 16 ang active pa lang sa ating Google Meet. 15. Okay, so I think ang iba ay so excuse me if okay, so ayan, 17 na yung naka-raise ng hand. So now let's have our discussion. For today, sabi natin, for today, di-discuss natin ang integrals, yielding inverse trigonometric functions. So start natin yung lesson natin by reading our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to, 1, enumerate and apply a general integration formula that leads to inverse trigonometric functions. Okay, so ito po yung ating target for today's lesson. Ano ba pag sinabi natin inverse trigonometric functions? Pag sinabi natin inverse trigonometric functions, these functions are simply defined as the inverse functions of the basic trigonometric functions, which are yung sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant functions. They are also termed as the Arcus functions, the anti-trigonometric functions, or the cyclometric function. So sabi natin dito, inverse sila. So makikita natin yung sine natin naka-raise sa -1, cosine naka-raise sa -1, cotangent naka-raise sa -1, which indicate that they are the inverses of our trigonometric functions. Sabi dito, Arcus functions din silang kinoconsider kasi yung iba nating term dito, instead of arc raised to or sine raised to -1, we can read it as arc sine. Okay. So meron tayong tatlong general formula for this lesson. Formula number 16, 17, and 18. So formula number 16 natin, the integral of du over the square root of a squared minus u squared is equal to yung sine raised to -1 u over a plus c or yung arc sine natin na u over a plus c. So parehas lang siya. Yung isa lang ay naka-raise sa -1, yung isa arc sine, para parehas silang inverse po. Okay. Integral ng du over a squared plus u squared is equal to 1 over a tangent raised to -1 u over a plus c. Or yung ating 1 over a arctangent na u over a plus c. And ang integral ni du over u times the square root of u squared minus a squared is equal to 1 over a second raised to -1 ng u over a plus c. Or yung ating 1 over a arc second ni u over a plus c. So sabi nga po natin, ang kailangan lang nating i-take note para ma-apply yung mga formula na to is, una, kukunin natin yung u squared. So kung i-observe natin sa tatlong formula, lahat ng u squared nasa denominator. Okay, alin ba ang u squared natin? It is the term in the denominator containing our variable. Tapos yung a squared naman po natin is yung may constant natin. Okay? So makikita natin laging dalawang term lang yung denominator natin. Okay? So dalawa lang po yung ating ah dalawa lang po yung ating pong denominator. Ibig sabihin, binomial lang siya, a squared, yung isa, u squared lang po. Kapag nakita tayo ng hindi pa siya binomial, merong ilang terms, so kailangan natin siyang i-express na makakabuo lang tayo ng binomial para may makuha tayong a squared and u squared. Okay, so May pinakaiba-iba naman yung formula, yung ating 16 may square root na nasa una yung a bago yung u squared natin. Sa 17 walang square root at nag-iisa siya na may addition. Pwedeng mauna si a, pwedeng mauna si u kasi addition may commutative property. Tapos mayroon po tayong 18 or formula 18 na siya naman yung may square root na nauuna yung u squared minus dun a squared natin na may u dun sa labas ng radical. So madali natin ma-identify alin bang formula yung applicable once na masubstitute natin ang value ng u squared, a squared at ng du. Let's have our example, integral of dx over the square root of 4 minus x squared. So dito, alin ba yung i-classify natin na u? So, yes, Patrick? Okay, so alin ba yung u natin? Ang u natin dito or u squared. Kasi sa formula natin, it is u squared. So u squared natin is x squared po. Kunin lang natin ang square root ng bawat term. So square root nung u is equal to square root ni x, which is equal to u na lang po equal to x. Derivative dito ng du, which is dx po siya. Okay, so makikita naman natin ngayon, makukuha natin yung value ng a, which is the constant a squared is equal to 4. Square root ni 4 ay 2. So, a is equal to 2. Substitute lang natin integral ni du over the square root of a squared minus u squared na kung saan po apply natin sa formula number 16. Kasi sa 16, we have the integral of du over the square root of a squared minus u squared. Arc sine of u over a plus a. So dito wag tayong malilito na isama yung ating negative para dun sa u. Hindi natin siya kasama kasi mismong dun sa formula natin may negative sign po. Kung ito man ay naging plus, tapos makikita natin ay dito ay subtraction, so saka lang natin siya isasama na may negative siya. Kasi yung addition natin, nahatiin natin sa dalawang negative sign para ma-meet yung atin pong formula. Constant subtraction nga siya. So, applicable naman siya directly na magiging answer ay arc sine of u over a, which is ang u natin ay x, ang a natin ay 2, magkakaroon tayo ng arc sine of x over 2 plus a. So, ito ngayon yung ating formula or yung answer natin for example number 1. May question po ba sa example number 1? Okay, so I think walang question. Kindly give a thumbs up kung wala pong question sa number 1. Okay. So since wala namang question na majority, proceed tayo sa number 2, integral ni dy over 1 plus y squared. Sabi natin, nasa denominator, dalawang term. So, dito, yung isang term, u squared, yung isang term, a squared. So, u squared natin is the one having variable, yung y squared natin. U squared is equal to y squared. Kunin ang square root ng ating u, we will have u is equal to y po. Derivative of u is equal to dy. Tapos po, yung a squared natin ay yung 1. Kunin yung square root niya, magiging a is equal to 1. Then magkakaroon tayo ng dy is equal to du. Papalitan na natin to ng du. Yung 1 equal dun sa a squared. So, papalitan natin siya ng a squared. At yung y squared equal sa u squared. Kaya, pinalitan ng u squared. Integral ni du over a squared plus u squared ay formula number 17 equals so 1 over a arctangent ni u over a plus c. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 1 over, ang a natin ay 1, arctangent ng u which is y over a natin ay 1 plus c. So, ito ngayon yung ating answer, pero hindi pa siya naka-simplified form. So, simplify muna natin. 1 divided by 1 ay 1, y divided by 1 ay y. So, we will have arctangent of y plus a. Ito na ngayon ang final answer natin. Tandaan, hindi lang basta isa-substitute, isa-simplify din. Kagaya ng ginagawa natin before. May question po ba dito sa number 2? Okay, so I think wala namang question. Proceed tayo sa number 3. The integral of d theta over theta square root of theta squared minus 4. So makita natin dito, meron tayong binomial na nasa loob ng radical at may isang nasa labas. So gawin lang ulit natin yung ating u squared, which is yung ating pong theta squared. Since yung variable natin dito ay yung theta. And with that, kunin ang square root ng both sides, u is equal to theta. And then kunin natin ang derivative dito, du is equal to d theta na po. And with this, kunin naman natin yung a natin. A squared is equal to 4. Square root ni a natin is equal to 2. So a is equal to 2. So palitan daw tong d theta ng du. Itong theta na nasa labas, it is equal sa u. Yung theta squared ay u squared at yung 4 natin ay a squared. So du over u times the square root of u squared minus a squared. Okay? Apply naman dito si formula number 18. Magiging siyang 1 over a arc second of u over a plus c. Kung saan ang a natin ay 2, kaya naging 1 over 2 arc second. Yung u natin ay theta over a natin ay 2 plus c. So 1 half arc second of theta over 2 plus c. May question po ba sa number 3? Am I still audible po? Okay, so welcome back to me. Hindi ko kayo gustong iwan, char. Okay, so allow me to present my screen again. Nakakagigil ka na. Ay, naku ka. Pagkatapos dito. Dali na. Okay, so visible na po ba yung ating screen? No. Okay, so I'm back for the end time. Kindly raise your hand kung hindi visible sa inyong end ang ating PowerPoint presentation. Raise hand kung hindi visible sa inyong end ang ating PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so since no one is raising their hand, I assume na visible sa lahat yung PowerPoint presentation natin. So bago tayo ma-disconnect for the end time, dito tayo tumigil. We have here the integral ng d theta over theta times the square root of theta squared minus 4. Kinuha natin yung value ng u squared which is theta squared. In-square root yung both sides, naging u is equal to theta. Kinuha yung derivative ng both sides, du is equal to d theta. And from here, sa given integrand, kinuha din natin si a squared. A squared is equal to 4. Kinuha ang square root ng both sides. A is equal to 2. And then, nag-substitute tayo. D theta is equal to du. Yung theta naging u. Yung theta squared naging u squared. 4 naging a squared. And the integral of du over u times the square root of u squared minus a squared by applying our formula number 18 is 1 over a arc second du over a plus a. So, 1 over ang a natin ay 2 arc second ni theta which is our u and ang a natin ay 2 plus a. So, this is our final answer. Okay, so after number 3, proceed na tayo. So number 4 example, we have here the integral of z dz over 5 plus 9z to the 4th. So dito, syempre, ang magiging value natin ng u squared is 9z to the 4th. Kasi dalawa lang naman yung nasa denominator natin, u squared will be the one containing the variable. Getting the square root of both sides, we have u is equal to 3z to the second power. The derivative of both sides will be du is equal to 6z dz. And since dito sa ating given integral, meron tayong z, dz, kahit magkalayo siya, tandaan z natin pwedeng nasa gilid, pwedeng nasa numerator, it is just the same. So, kailangan lang ma-eliminate yung 6 dito by dividing both sides by 6. We have 1, 6. du is equal to z dz. Kunin natin ang value ng a squared is equal to 5 at dahil hindi perfect square, si a squared, magiging lang siyang square root of 5 pag kinuha yung square root ng both sides. And then, apply lang natin ng substitution, yung dz na palitan ng 160 u sa denominator natin, yung 5 naging a squared, and yung 9z squared, z to the fourth, naging u squared na po siya. Okay, and with that, simplify lang po natin by labas muna si constant multiple, integral ni du over a squared plus u squared, formula number 17 po ulit. Kung saan it is 1 over a arctangent ng u over a plus c. Papalit lang natin yung a natin. Ang a natin is square root of 5. Ang u natin ay 3z squared. So magkakaroon tayo yung 1/6 na nasa labas, multiply sa 1 over square root of 5 arctangent ni 3z squared over square root of 5 plus c. So, ganun lang, multiply natin si 1/6 dun sa 1 over square root of 5. We will have 1 over 6 times arctangent, or 1 over 6 times the square root of 5 arctangent ng 3z squared over square root of 5 plus c. So, ganyan lang natin kinuha yung answer natin for number 4. Tandaan, pag dalawa lang yung term natin, ibig sabihin yung isa ay u squared na agad, yung isang term ay a squared. Yung u squared is the one containing our variable. Question po sa number 4. Okay, so I think wala namang question for number 4. Then, let's proceed for number 5. The integral of cosecant squared z dz over cotangent z square root of cotangent squared z minus 16. So, ang gagawin lang po natin dito, kunin ang u squared. Alin po magiging u squared natin? Which is our value of u squared? It will be cotangent squared z. Since dito makikita natin siya yung ating, that is correct. So, cotangent squared z, yung atin pong u squared, square root ng both sides, u is equal to cotangent z. And then, kunin ang derivative ng cotangent z, that will be negative cosecant squared z dz. At dahil negative yung derivative at positive yung nasa given integrand natin, multiply both sides by negative 1. Negative du is equal to cosecant squared cosecant squared z dz natin. Okay? And yung a naman natin, syempre yung kasama sa loob ng radical, which is 16, a squared is equal to 16. Square root ng 16 ay 4, so meron tayong a is equal to 4. By substitution, magkakaroon tayo ng integral ni negative du over u times square root ng u squared minus a squared po natin. Yung negative sign, ilalabas ng integral sign, negative integral ni du over u times the square root ni u squared minus a squared po natin. Labas natin sa integral sign yung negative po na yon, magiging integral ni du over u times the square root of u squared minus a squared is equal to 1 over a arc second ni u over a plus c by formula number 18. So, magkakaroon tayo ng negative 1 over a. Ang a natin is 4. Arc second ni u, which is cotangent z, over yung a natin, which is 4 plus a. This is now our answer. Okay, so, tandaan lang po, laging assign muna natin ang magiging value natin for u squared, a squared, u, and du para makuha yung ating pong integrand na applicable yung ating formula. Question po sa example number 5. Okay, so I think wala pong question. Proceed tayo sa integral ni d alpha over square root ni e raised to 2 alpha minus 4. So meron tayo ditong e raised to 2 alpha sa denominator na nasa loob ng radical. So it will be our u squared. U squared is e raised to 2 alpha. With that, ang gagawin na po natin, get the square root of both sides. Square root po ni u squared ay u squared, ni e raised to 2 alpha ay e raised to alpha na lang po. Ang derivative naman po nito, syempre, derivative ng e raised to u will be e raised to u, tapos mamumultiply siya dun sa derivative ni u, which is 1 pa din. So, e raised to u d alpha or e raised to alpha d alpha yung derivative niya. Yung ating a, syempre, is the constant. A squared is equal to 4 and a is equal to 2. Kasi ang square root ng both sides is a is equal to 2. With that, apply lang natin ngayon. Pero may mapapansin tayo. Yung integrand natin, wala naman siyang e raised to alpha sa tabi ng d alpha or e raised to alpha sa denominator. So sa du natin, kung ito yung nakuha nating derivative, kahit i-divide natin siya sa e raised to alpha, hindi pa din mapapalabas natin yung ating integral. So what's needed here ay kailangan natin magdagdag ng e raised to alpha. Paano tayo magdadagdag? Pwede tayo magdagdag basta equivalent siya sa 1. So how will that happen? Idadagdag natin ng e raised to alpha sa numerator at sa denominator. Parang nag-multiply lang tayo ng e raised to alpha over e raised to alpha dito sa gilid na to. Pag inilagay e raised to alpha over e raised to alpha, then magkakaroon tayo ng e raised to alpha d alpha over e raised to alpha times yung square root ng e raised to 2 alpha minus 4. Again, minultiply lang yung original natin na integrand by 1. Kasi yung e raised to alpha over e raised to alpha equal lang sa 1. So ngayon, masasubstitute na natin sa numerator. Sa e raised to alpha, d alpha sa du. Sa denominator, may e raised to alpha sa numerator. So this will be our u. Then, sa square root naman natin ng e raised to 2 alpha is equal to u squared and 4 is our a squared naman po. So, integral ni du over u times the square root of u squared minus a squared, it is equal ulit sa formula number 18 natin, 1 over a arc secant of u over a plus c. So, ang a natin dito ay 2, ang u natin ay e raised to alpha, magkakaroon tayo ng 1 over 2 arc secant ni e raised to alpha over 2 plus c. Ito na yung answer natin for number 6. Okay, so ganyan lang po natin siya ina-apply. Pwede po tayong magdagdag. Once na yung idadagdag natin is always equal to 1. Bakit naging equal sa 1? Kung anong dinagdag sa numerator, siya din dinagdag sa denominator. Parang minultiply lang natin sa original by e raised to alpha over e raised to alpha, which is equal sa 1. May question po ba dito sa number 6? Okay. So, I think wala naman per se tayo sa number 7, integral ni dx over 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. So may mapapansin tayo sa ating denominator. The denominator is consist of trinomial. At dahil trinomial siya, hindi pa tayo makakakuha ng value ng u squared at saka ni a squared. So kailangan muna natin siyang i-simplify. So paano natin siya masisimplify ng into a two-term na lang or binomial na lang? So syempre, kailangan natin siyang applyan ng completing the square. If you will recall yung completing the square na topic ninyo when you are in grade 8 or grade 7, kung saan makakabuo tayo ng perfect square trinomial na meron tayong isa pang constant na nasa labas. So, ganun yung aim natin. Yung first term natin will be the trinomial and yung constant po natin will be our A. Or again, yung ating trinomial na perfect square. Ipa-factor siya sa square of a binomial, which will be our u squared. Tapos, yun naman pong ating a squared will be our constant. So, paano ba natin mapapalabas yun? So, dapat, una, ang coefficient ni x squared ay 1. So, paano magiging coefficient na dito ay 1 from 3? Kailangan i-divide natin yung buong denominator by 3. Pag dinivide natin yung buong denominator by 3, we will have the integral of dx over yung 3 natin na makamultiply sa x squared minus 2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. So, makikita natin si x squared, yung 3x squared natin, na divide sa 3. x squared na lang siya. Negative 2 na divide sa 3, negative 2 over 3x. 5 na divide sa 3, 5 over 3x. Okay, how about now? Hello? Is it louder po ngayon? Okay, sige po. Siguro lang ay sa my settings pero inilakas ko na po siya. So now, proceed tayo. Again, divide lang natin yung lahat ng term by 3. After natin i-divide lahat ng term by 3, so magdadagdag naman tayo ng constant. Paano tayo magdadagdag ng constant? I-divide lang natin sa 2 yung 2 over 3 which is the middle term and then i-square natin siya. So magkakaroon tayo ng 2 over 3 which is equal to or kalahati ni 2 over 3 which is 1/3. And dahil nga po yung kalahati po na yun, idadagdag natin or i-square natin. Sorry, nalilito na. Kasi stress na may 103 pa ako. Okay. So, dito meron tayong i-divide sa 2a square. So, kapag ginawa yun, magiging 1 over 9. Dadagdag dito, ibabawas sa 5 over 3 natin. So, matatandaan, di-divide sa 2, in-square, naging 1/9. Kung anong dinagdag siyang ibabawas. And then, ito po i-square of a binomial. Ang factor po ni x ay x, ang x squared ay x. Factor ni 1/9 or square root niya ay 1/3. Again, in-apply po natin yung ating square of a binomial, which is the factor of a perfect square trinomial. 5 over 3 minus 1/9 ay 14 over 9. And with that, yung gagamitin na natin ditong denominator, u squared plus a squared na po siya. Yung u squared natin is x minus 1/3 raised to the second power. And then, meron tayong u, which is the square root nito, x minus 1/3 na lang po. Derivative nito ay dx, yung a squared natin is 14 over 9. Square root nito will be square root of 14 over 3. Wala kasing perfect square root yung ating 14. Square root of 14 siya. Square root ni 9 ay 3. By substitution, yung 1/3 natin mag-multiply sa du over a squared plus u squared. Pwede magkabaliktad sila, which is yung formula number 70 natin. Equal na po ito sa arctan of u over a plus c na nakamultiply sa 1 over a na i-multiply pa sa 1/3. Ang a natin dito ay 14 or square root of 14 over 3 and may arctan of u over a pa din. Na kung saan si 3, i-divide sa 3 na lang si square root of 14. Dito naman square root of 14 over 3, iaakyat si 3 na yung 3 mamumultiply dun sa x kaya naging 3x. Yung 3 na inakyat mamumultiply dun sa 1/3 kaya naging 1 na lang po siya. And with that, meron tayong 1 over square root of 14 arctangent ni 3x minus 1 whole over square root of 14 plus c. Ito na si final answer sa number 7. May question po ba sa number 7? Okay, so I think wala naman pong question. Tandaan po, a-apply lang po natin yung perfect square trinomial by completing the square. Makakapo tayo ng dalawang terms na gagamitin u squared and a squared. So kung wala na tayong question, we will conclude we will stop here muna yung discussion natin sa lesson 2.4. Iko-continue na lang natin siya sa ating face-to-face meet tomorrow. Kasi by 3 o'clock po ay may class na po ako sa 12:03. Any questions, clarifications?